It's time for EdTech Mondays, brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.
Welcome to the EdTech Mondays Nigeria show, where we explore the dynamic world of education technology in Nigeria. My name is Chinyelu Akpa, your host, and it's good to be back here again. Last month, we had very interesting conversation on digital wellness and resilience for learners and educators. And this month, we'll be taking it a notch higher. We'll be discussing EdTech for diverse learning needs and styles. It is important that we recognize that every learner is unique. Understanding and addressing these diverse learning styles and needs can significantly enhance the effectiveness of EdTech solutions and ensure that no learner is left behind. This month, we'll be exploring how EdTech can be designed and implemented to support a wide range of learning preferences, whether it's visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or any other learning style available. So to kick off this conversation this month, I'm very excited to introduce our guests, a licensed guidance counselor with over a decade of experience, a child intelligence specialist who is well versed in British and Montessori curriculums. Her love for personal development has led to opportunities to work both locally and internationally, including England, South Africa, Dubai, France, to mention, I always mention just a few. She's also a visionary and the executive director at Bethelhill Coaching Academy and Bethelhill School, founded in 2016, to create an inclusive learning environment for children living with and without disabilities. She has received beautiful testimonials from families and clients, and will be joining us on the show today to discuss our very interesting conversation. She's also a member of the Chartered Institute of Corporate Mentoring and Coaching in Nigeria. Join me as I welcome Mary Akanmu-Bamikefa. Hello, Mary.
Well done.
I was reading your bio and you were wondering, is that me? It's good to have you, and it's good to see that you have people who are thinking in this line, to ensure that learners, regardless of their learning styles, are helped to understand how to use technology. Because there's so much that's happening with technology. That's why you have this show where we're every day unpeeling several layers from the onion called EdTech. And there isn't so much conversation that goes on outside around learners that have special learning needs, right? And how to incorporate them into the design or into the use of EdTech tools and products. And that's why we have you here to give life to this topic. So the first thing is, I mentioned, learners with, preferential or special ways of learning. They have learning styles. Can you just shed some little light on that? What does that mean?
Okay, thank you first of all for having me.
Thank
it's a
you,
pleasure.
Mary.
And hello to our viewers. Yes, we all learn differently. No two child or two person is alike. And looking at different learning styles is very diverse. We have those that we call the audiovisuals. This kind of learners learn with sound. They learn with spoken instructions, just like we have been speaking. If we have an audiovisual learner right there in, let's assume this is a classroom, yes, audio and visual.
Okay.
So the learner can hear and also see.
Yes.
And to make it easier for our parents and viewers, I have some materials here. So imagine I am reading to you. So I am reading. An audiovisual learner can actually hear and also see with the picture. So that helps the visual learning. A learner will never forget
what they have seen.
And what they have heard for the audiovisual. Now for the kinesthetics, they are very, very energetic. They learn by moving. I also belong to their angle.
There has to be an activity.
Yes, activity. You can go to the playground. We engage teachers to be creative. Learning does not necessarily have to be in the classroom. And even just at home too, when you want to engage the child. So you can be in the playground, move around, and, just hands-on activity. For instance, I have an activity here, right, where the child can just use these tweezers to sort. So imagine having this at home with a child and like put purple somewhere, put yellow somewhere. Instead of the child throwing tantrum and disturbing you. I mean, play is a work of the child for the child, according to our testing. Then the last kind of learners that we have, the read and write. Just give me notes. Just give me, text to speech. We have some apps on our phone that helps us that interpret text to words. That's what that learner needs. Just let me write. It's more like the brain photocopies it and it sticks. So auditory learners, audiovisual learners, kinesthetic learners, and the read and write learners.
I didn't even know that was a thing. But now, looking back, I think I used to learn better when I write.
Right.
So if I would write out my...
Because when you are writing...
in the university back into my
I can
notes,
imagine. There is an impression that is made psychologically to the brain. So you would not forget if you belong to that spectrum.
When I'm in an exam hall, I'm flipping through my notes.
Exactly. You can recall.
I on the side of the notes. It was in my writing.
I can imagine.
So how then do EdTech tools fit into these learning styles?
Okay, thank you. First of all, we have so many platforms that we engage the parents, the teachers, and of course, the learners with, because it's a collaboration.
Yes.
Now, we use Google Meet Classroom. We use the Zoom platform also. Then for the children with disability, I would want to really talk more about them.
Yes, please.
We have children on the spectrum autism. We have children on the spectrum cerebral palsy that we take care of at Bethelhill School. So what we do with them, basically, we engage them using their tab. Yes, and much more video lessons. So just like what I have done now, if I want to teach a child about color, the child might not be able to see the way you are looking at me and I'm gaining your attention. They are not gifted with that aspect. Yes. So they will do better with the video lesson. Okay. So what the teacher does is to prepare the lesson ahead, engaging the objective of the learning. Because before you go to class to teach, you already have a learning objective, you prepare your presentation and everything. Yes. And it's not too long because of their attention span. So you don't get the child bored. And it's also very, very interactive. You also make use of what we call gamification, games, puzzles, so that the children can, learn and also engage actively with you while you are learning stresslessly. No pressure, just following the process.
So how successful or not has it been finding, EdTech products that fits these various learning? And you've spoken now for kids who are on the autism spectrum and as well as the cerebral palsy spectrum. So how easy or difficult has it been? Do you have ready-made solutions that you don't have to tweak that are available for them, or it's a little bit of this and that to give you what you want to support them?
Thank you very much for that question. So for Bethelhill School, we use EdVest.
Okay.
EdVest is an educational platform where, as a director, there are times I'm outside the country, the school is running, I can get the teachers sending their lesson plan ahead of the term, we mark, parents can get feedback even from their children. Yes, it's a platform, we pay for it, and they produce the solution for us. Then what we also engage for parents with is what I would, like I said earlier on, video lesson, because it's not magic. It's not so easy. It's been very, very challenging, especially because of children with special needs, because the parents still need an adult to facilitate the learning, especially when they are home, because there are times we have quizzes for them at home on Saturday just to connect, because learning is partnership. It has to go on at home while it's going on in school. So EdVest has been a very, very good product that we've leveraged on, where we also adapt by using our phone, by video lessons, which the children can engage with, even puzzles. Just like I did earlier on, I could just make a video of myself trying to teach whatever, maybe numeracy or literacy, whatever skill I want to learn. Not even academic-wise, social skill. eating. Some of them cannot because of their disability.
Yes.
They have to be helped too. So we engage all of this to make sure the learning is holistic to help the child.
So if I hear you rightly, there isn't that one
Perfect no, not one size fits all. Thank you. Yes.
That is specifically designed
yes
for
yes.
learners with special learning
Yes,
needs
yes.
or to capture
All
learning styles
yes,
of
yes,
learners. So
yes.
both the auditory,
Yes.
you know, or the audio visual,
Absolutely.
or the read writers.
Read and write.
People like me, right? So, or you can, so there isn't one solution. So this is a virgin territory right now.
Absolutely, yes,
where
yes,
EdTech
yes.
developers
Can come and leverage,
knowing
to
that
provide.
there is a need
Absolutely.
for this, and we need to then see how do you design your solutions.
Absolutely.
If you're going to teach
Absolutely.
literacy, if you're going to teach the
Numeracy, or jolly phonics.
going to teach it to
That's the letter words,
alphabet
words,
to
yes.
them, to an
Reading,
auditory learner.
blending,
How do you need to design it that it captures an auditory learner? What are the activities that a kinesthetic learner would have to do to capture
connect
him?
better?
And what would a read
and write
learner do to learn, you know,
absolutely
the alphabet or the vowel sounds
absolutely
using your
the solution.
Thank you. We've done so much in so little time. How important is teacher training in the effective use of EdTech for diverse learning styles and needs?
EdTech is very, very, very important, much more for teachers, educators, because they are the drivers. In the classroom setting, take for instance, like we have identified there, we have children, learners with different abilities, with different learning style. A teacher would not just come to the class, write on the smart board, or maybe we are doing a read aloud, and a child that just wants to move around like me. What is this child saying? So, in answering that question, it is a must for learners, parents, educators to keep learning. We call it lifelong learning because as we speak, research is ongoing. There are so many needs that have not even been identified, and there has to be need for teachers to be able to leverage. So we encourage growth mindsets, which is one of our core values at the Bethelhill School. It's lifelong learning, training, termly. We just finished the half term. During the midterm break, we still had to leverage technology training because teachers still need to breathe.
Yes. Yes.
And I was even privileged to also train some teachers in Asaba. You know, to imagine being in Lagos and traveling virtually to Asaba to help them on how to develop IEP. That's how we teach the children with disability. It's individualized educational plan. They don't have the usual curriculum, all of that, so it's called IEP. So it's very, very, very important. It's a continuous professional development, lifelong learning.
And
on
so this
handling.
IEP, I just picked on that.
Okay.
Because I want to believe that IEP 10 years ago.
Okay.
It's
It's
not
not
the
what
same IEP
absolutely.
now.
If IEP last midterm is not what IEP of. I mean, the few months we have to the end of the summer term will be so much
that technology has to do
absolutely,
and can do.
absolutely.
And so this is very interesting.
Thank you.
What are you, people like you, who are working in this field doing to help EdTech developers know about IEP? How are you helping them know that there is an individualized education plan that needs to be factored into how they're designing? So even if you do not have a specific solution for learners with special learning styles, if you can incorporate some element of IEP into your design, anybody can use it.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Where are the conversations happening? I've not heard you. I've not seen you, Mary.
Okay, thanks for that. I'm looking for the right adjective for that prompt, you know.
Yes.
I love the energy. Thank you. So for Adverse, there's the system and structure of feedback. So, which I also believe this will get to them in one way or the other.
Others,
they are working on it.
Beyond, because there's so many
I agree.
solutions out there.
I agree.
That need, and I'm moving away from because Edverse is a learning management system.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
When it comes to people who are building actual
apps and solutions
that are for learning, not for administrative
for
purposes. So
I
think
get
of someone who has maybe a
get
test
you.
prep app, or someone who has a quizzing app, or someone who has an app that can help you with numeracy, literacy,
like Kahoot,
science,
when we do our quiz and all that.
How are you working with this people who are designing the solutions?
So thank you for giving me
that there is an IEP that needs to be incorporated.
So that's the business idea. I will note it.
Yes. Because the conversations cannot remain in the classroom.
Absolutely.
It cannot remain in your group meetings.
Absolutely.
You need to bring
driving
in,
further
you
and
need to bring in the
provide solution to the challenge.
Yes, so they know that this is, I'm sure they know that they are learners with special learning needs or different styles of learning.
Of course.
But the bit now where there's even a plan.
Tailored down to meet that specific need.
If my solution is for numeracy, because they're in a business to make money.
Absolutely.
If they're adding just a little, element
of course, tweak
into what they have, it means that you have even opened up your users
wider,
more,
wider
and
range.
You have more people who can
to leverage.
So it's a win-win. Yeah. They are working, they are doing good business, and you have learners
can leverage them. Thank you.
Run me my check, Run me my check. So there's a lot of, I'm asking this question because if you are on social media, you would hear a lot around people labeling their kids. Oh, my kids have ADHD. Oh, my kids are this. They can't sit still and all of that. So how do we then support children who have short attention spans to leverage technology? How can EdTech support them?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. So you don't label a child until they are diagnosed. So sometimes parents, teachers, whoever are fast to say, this child is like you're hyper, you're ADHD, you are no, it's wrong.
It's a cool thing
it's
now
not,
to have
in fact, it affects a child's esteem. Yes. Even as an adult, I come and I see, you need to see me on a good day in school. You'll be like, she a teacher or she, I'm full of energy. Yeah. Yes. You do not label a child. Please, I need to reiterate that. You do not label a child, regardless of your concerns. There might be concerns, there might be red flags, but please, do not label a child as a parent, as an educator, as a caregiver, as whoever, until they are medically diagnosed. Okay. If you have any concern, after now you could, look for information on how to get them medically diagnosed. And to answer your question, of course, there are tailored down lessons planned for their attention span. Learning is not learning until something is learned. So why then bore a child? When you know that 30 minutes, just make it 30 minutes, fun as much as possible. In fact, we can learn our numbers dancing. We can go to the playground doing hopscotch. We did it when we were young, suwe, and they are learning happily and joyfully. And everybody remains ever happy.
So for adding EdTech into this now, how does EdTech then support that bit of attention span? Okay. Right? Are there solutions that they can work with? And of course,
yes. Video lessons, like I already said. Video lessons, some generated from the platform, some teacher made. Just like what I have done. To imagine I was coming to teach you, or maybe I'm going to read aloud or how to do something. And I just make the video lesson and I play.
And this is where you have the likes of, I hear you mentioning Kahoot a lot.
We engage that a lot. We engage that. And you get the feedback right there and there. The child can tell, oh, I did well. Oh, I'm progressing. Oh, fantastic. So
timed activities are one sure way to engage learners who have that short attention span. As you said, learning is not learning if until something happens. So if you're keeping them for 30 minutes when you know they can sit still for just 15 minutes, it will be best bet to look for a solution, to look for a product that you can time to fit within what you have agreed
and achieve the results at that time.
Great. And now to our final question. How can the use of EdTech in early childhood education contribute to building a strong foundation for future learning, particularly for learners with varying abilities and backgrounds? This is very important. I feel so bad that this is the final question. But you know, you have people say, oh, yes, and I agree, you shouldn't introduce technology too early, you know, for learners.
Too early.
But for now looking at kids who are differentiated with their learning, right? What's the role of EdTech? And I see that an enabler, but I want to hear from you, who is the expert.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, it's an enabler, but everything, like Maria Montessori would say, freedom within limits. You have to just set boundaries. Even for those that are learning usually like just read and write, or the visual, you know, auditory, you will not just go all long engaging that way. So for those that we have to engage with EdTech, we make sure it's, you know, time-bound. And knowing that children come ready, they are very curious. You can't kill their curiosity. Technology is an enabler. And look at the future of work. I mean, just over the week, I was able to train 10 teachers in Asaba without living under my room. So what are we talking about? We have to make sure they are future ready. We want a child that is trained here at Yaba, Lagos, be able to work and compete with a child in China, compete with a child that... So we have to work with the future in mind and make sure our children are not only locally relevant, but globally relevant. So technology, of course, is an enabler, but freedom within limits.
Thank you so much, Mary, for that response. And I agree with you about freedom within limits. While there is so much that technology can do to contribute to building a strong foundation for future learning for learners who have varying, you know, learning needs or learning preferences, there still needs to be that scaffolding, that support to ensure that they do not just run wild while using, you know, EdTech tools and products for learning. It has been an engaging time with you, Mary, and I'm sure that we have sufficiently opened up the appetites of our listeners, because it's going to be a beautiful month of engaging conversation where we'll just be discussing more and more on EdTech for diverse learning needs. Thank you so much, Mary. It was wonderful having you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
And to you, our listeners, we'd love to hear from you. What type of learner are you? Are you an auditory learner? Are you an audio-visual learner? Are you the type of learners who can't sit in one place like and myself. Need activity? Or do you like to read and write? Send us a message on WhatsApp or as an SMS to 0706 165 0809. And we'd like to know how technology has supported this learning style that you have, or how you think technology can support this learning style that you have. And specifically to parents and guardians listening, do you know that your words or your children have specific learning styles? How have you been able to support them, support their use of EdTech tools while paying attention to their learning styles? Emeka does not have coconut head. He's just a kinesthetic learner.
Tell them.
Bumi is just an auditory learner. Belema just likes to read and write. How have you been able to get tools that are supporting them, that leverage technology? Send us an SMS, send us a WhatsApp. We'd love to hear from you. And you can also join the conversation after now, in case you missed it, on Spotify at EdTech Mondays Nigeria, or watch us on YouTube at CC Hub Nigeria to see how much fun we had while making this for you. Till I come your way, same time next week, I remain your host, Chinyelu Akpa. It's bye for now.
EdTech Monday is proudly brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and CC Hub.